Hey guys, so today I got a more unique video, at least from my channel. So I've been really loving Marvel Rivals, and particularly Bucky and Rocket I've been just loving, and I just really love this game. But I've just noticed that a lot of people, at least not in the higher skill ranks, use their ults kind of unsmartly, and I just wanted to share how I've found success in using ults for these two characters. So yeah, first of all, look at this. I kind of just I mean, it worked out for me in this clip, but I kind of just did again the Armed and Dangerous without even like thinking who I was gonna even do it on, which can work. But let's say you're in more skill level places and they get away and the debuff on them runs out, then your whole ult is ruined, and I'm going to teach you how to avoid that. Alright, first of all, make an account of when the last enemy healing ult was, when you think it's probably going to happen again, and where your ult is. So if they just did their healing ult, and you have it, then yeah, use it and follow the rest of the steps in this video. But if you think they're going to use it pretty soon and you do have it and you want to use it, then attack the healers without your ult, get them really low, and they usually will just panic ulting, especially if their whole team is there, so they don't waste it. Obviously, it will give them an excuse to just panic ult to save themselves. Do that, and it'll bait out the healing ults, and then you can proceed to do the ult. Because it depends on what rank you're playing and like what the skill level of the teams are. Usually in a higher, they won't just waste it to save themselves. They'll actually think about their team, surprisingly. But if you're just in a mild rank and most of their teammates are there anyways, they'll probably just pop it. So try to pressure the healers before ulting, just until they almost die, just with your normal kit, not your ult. And then they'll waste their healing ult, and then you'll know it's gone, and then you can proceed to do the ult. Alright, so I'm going to play a clip of my own, and I'm just going to walk through all the steps that I take to get a really good ult that you've always been dreaming of wiping out the entire team. Which, even though if you just kind of feel like that looks really easy, it's not. You have to have decent aim, and you have to have your whole team there, or else you're just going to get shot immediately. And, I mean, let me just get into the details of it. Alright, first of all, look at this. I go for that dagger. I don't actually get her because she's invulnerables, but I get the Luna and then get her, then the dagger. Then I go for the Moon Knight. Then I go for the Squirrel Girl. Then I go for the Groot. Then I go for the Penny. And so the pattern is essentially healer, then DPS, then it's just all the squishies first, preferably the healers first, because obviously they're not going to be able to heal their allies when I'm againing them over and over again. And editing Josh here. By the way, this clip is in platinum, so don't think you can only do this crazy of an ult in quick match. Yeah, that's essentially the pattern you want to follow, but also it's really good to get the healer half health, so you just insta-kill them and assures that you can get it again and go for the next healer, because then you're assured that you'll be able to get it again and take out the other healer, then the DPS, and then the tanks. And so yeah, that's essentially the pattern. I mean, you can always, if you know they've just used their healing ults, then yeah, sure, go for just when they're full health, and then but it's essentially the same thing, but you're just assuring it more when you get them halfway health before you even initiate the ult, and they're less panicked because they just think they're just gonna get healed by their fellow healer instead of getting agained so fast. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is. Alright, now for Rocket Raccoon. He is a 1-star difficulty, and yeah, he's pretty easy. He's kind of simple, but to actually be good with him, it's way harder than you think. I mean, it's not super hard, but it's harder than you think. Specifically with his ult, it's an amplifier that buffs their your damage, whoever's in the circle, by a substantial chunk that it makes a difference. And there's a couple ways to utilize this ult correctly. Kind of just depends on the situation. So we'll get into that right now. Alright, my Cloak and Dagger is ulting. This is the way you want to do it, for this method at least. Is place it down and utilize your really powerful minigun, even though it's inaccurate. With melting tanks, it's pretty easy. Even with DPS, it's kind of easy. By the way, why all my teammates are dying is because this is quick match, and we literally have 3 healers DPS, and then they were kind of being dumb. We won it anyways, though. Anyways, so it's pretty good at melting tanks. The minigun, and with your amplifier, since you don't really get to shoot it that much because you're usually constantly healing people, when there's a healing ult, you don't have to heal your team for a little bit, so you can utilize your gun. So that's why it's best to place it down when there's any healing ult. Invisible Woman, Luna, Friends Gather Around, Cloak and Dagger is probably the best one though. That's against the world. And so yeah, that's usually a good time to use it, is to place it down when there's a healing ult. And it's also good because if you were healing ulting, that was probably meaning you were losing, your whole team was getting really low and losing the push. So that it completely redeems your push automatically with the healing ult, obviously. That's usually what healing ult does. But by adding that amplifier, you've completely turned the tide to a point where your whole team can be healing. They don't have to worry about being low, and they can just target the other team and melt them with your amplifier for about, it's probably about 12 seconds, and it's really good, and it can completely turn the tide of a push, and you can take the objective. Completely turn the tide with a good timed rocket and healing ult when most of the team is there. You can completely turn the tide of the objective, the battle for the objective. So yeah, that's one of the best way. I personally think that's the best way to use it, but there are other methods that I'll kind of show you right now. One of the more simpler times to use it, if you don't have a healing ult soon, they just used it and you're dead during it, is just look at this. We were starting the push. It's usually just good to use it to start the push so you have more damage towards the enemy team, so you can get the objective. Same thing, just without the healing ult, and it can easily be ruined if the enemy team does a healing ult. So it's just a lot better if you save it for your other healer's healing ult, and that's why it's very important as a rocket to usually have another healer that has an ult, healing ult, because he doesn't have any healing ult, and that's one of people's biggest complaints with him. And that's why they say he's the worst support, which I just really don't understand those claims. He's obviously not the best, but he's really fun and he can be the best depending on your playstyle. I guarantee, I recommend giving him a tryout and see if you like the type of healing, because he can heal from pretty far away is one of his nice functions, and also he can heal a lot of people at once, and he can revive. And a little bonus thing, make sure you the revive has a range. It's a pretty big circle around it, but just make sure you just find a little nook that's to the side or something that the stupid flankers won't find and destroy, because people can destroy your redeploy, obviously. You probably knew that already, but right there, that was actually not an even very good throw. I mean, actually there's a Punisher right there, but this is a quick match, and they probably don't, that Punisher probably even know what it was. But yeah, in more high skill places, try to place the redeploy in a kind of a nook near the thing, near the objective line. And yeah, that is my personal 2 favorite characters, and I think at least Rocket is pretty underrated, and I guarantee you will have a lot of fun if you follow these steps and try out these characters. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and go have fun with Bucky and kick butt and Rocket.